For this problem, we're asked to graph an equation in the rectangular coordinate system. So we have the equation y is equal to 2 minus the absolute value of x. We'll select some values from x starting at -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. These are good numbers to start with, and if we need more numbers, we can always select more when we're done with these. So if x is -3, we're going to substitute -3 into our original equation for x, and the y value will equal 2 minus the absolute value of -3, and that's just 2 minus the absolute value of -3 is 3. 2 minus 3 is -1. Therefore, that tells us when x is -3, y is -1, that's a coordinate on the graph. We're going to do that with these other values for x. So here we go. When x is -2, y equals 2 minus the absolute value of -2, which gives us 2 minus 2, or 0. Now when x is -1, again we substitute it in. We get 2 minus the absolute value of -1, which is just 2 minus 1, or 1. Now when x is 0, y equals 2 minus the absolute value of 0, which is just 2 minus 0, or 2. When x is 1, we get 2 minus the absolute value of 1, which is just 2 minus 1, which is 1. When x is 2, we get y equals 2 minus the absolute value of 2, which is just 2 minus 2, or 0. And finally, when x is 3, we get y equals 2 minus the absolute value of 3, which is just 2 minus 3, or -1. Now it's going to make a lot more sense when we plot these ordered pairs. So let's start at the top. When x is -3, our y coordinate was -1. So we have 1, 2, 3, -3, -1 right about here. The next coordinate, when x is -2, y is 0. So we plot -2, 0. When x is -1, y is 1. So we go -1, 1. When x is 0, y is 2. So 0, 2. When x equals 1, the y coordinate is 1. When x equals 2, the y coordinate is 0. And finally, when x equals 3, the y coordinate is -1. And we know an absolute value equation has a V shape. And this is the graph of the equation y is equal to 2 minus the absolute value of x.